Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about weight loss struggles that I face, and I've been receiving a lot of messages regarding my weight loss. Recently I had lost a few pounds, not a lot but just a few pounds, and I received a lot of messages on that, how I did it. I also received messages from a lot of my followers who ask how I maintained my weight after having 2 kids. Honestly, it's not easy, and I'm one of those people who my weight constantly fluctuates. There's a couple of reasons for that. I do stress eat a lot, and being a mother, a lot of times you don't have time to prep meals for yourself, so you end up eating your kids' leftovers, sort of. So yeah, that's something I do, and having the luxury of sitting down for a proper meal, sometimes that doesn't happen. Also, I have a sweet tooth, so I love chocolate, so I do eat a lot of dessert, and that's my weakness, and that's also the reason that I gain weight really quick whenever I do gain weight. So recently I did again lose a few pounds, and there's a few things that I always do whenever I need to lose weight, lose a few pounds, and those things always work for me, and that's why I wanted to do this video to kind of go over, not too much in detail, but briefly, or what my diet and my workout routine is like whenever I try to maintain my weight or lose my weight. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we begin, if you're new here, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So let's start with this. So whenever we talk about weight loss, a lot of people think that just eating a regular diet and working out is going to help you lose weight. And a lot of times that's true. I mean, if you just eat normal, don't eat junk food and work out, or period of time, you will eventually lose weight, and that is the healthier way of losing weight. But what happens with that is, for me, I lose motivation. So if, let's say, you are telling me I'm going to lose weight by the end of this year, a couple of pounds by the end of this year, that would not motivate me as much, because I'd be like, okay, I have 10-12 months to lose this weight. I mean, because the goal is so far ahead in time for me, I just don't get as motivated for it. Also, I'm not suggesting crash diets. Those are not good for you, those are not healthy. But what I do believe in is that you have to cut down on your calories to lose weight. Now, workout is fine. Working out, if you want to work out from day one, fine, go ahead. That's it's a lifestyle which is very healthy, and it's really good for your body, your mind, and everything. But if you seriously want to lose weight, you have to really cut down on the food consumption, because there's no other way. You gained weight with the food intake because of taking a lot of food in. You have to bring down the number of calories lower than the average number of calories you'd be taking in a day. Now, I have to say this, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a healthcare expert. Whatever I'm telling you today is what works for me. If you want to follow that, maybe ask your doctor first, or just use your common sense. I mean, everyone is different, everyone's body is different, so don't just take my word for it. I'm just sharing what works for me because a lot of you asked me. So my weight loss strategy consists of 2 phases. The number 1 phase is changing my diet into a protein diet. So what I do is I cut down on carbs. I believe that carbs are the number 1 reason for weight gain, and carbs and sugar. And that's like, if you want to lose weight, you really have to cut down on carbs. And once you do that, even if the number of calories is not as low, you will see a huge change in, within a few days, you'll start seeing changes in your body. And that's what I do. So what I do is I cut down on carbs, so no bread, no pasta, no rice, no sugar, and for dairy, for milk, I just take some milk in my coffee. Other than that, I don't really take any milk during the day. So that's how I change my diet. I make it very protein centric. I do like hummus a lot, and I do eat a hummus. What I do is I usually, if I'm really following the diet, I take it with spoon. I know probably some of you are like, oh, that's gross, but no, what I do is I just take it with spoon, and I sometimes mix it with minced chicken, cooked minced chicken and eat it. It tastes delicious to me. Maybe try it out sometime. In the morning, I'll wake up, I'll make myself scrambled eggs and I have a cup of coffee. And during the day, I'll just, mince chicken or piece of chicken breast, or, if it like a small steak. I mean, anything that's protein, I try to just eat that. I don't eat anything extra with that. I do try to add some veggies and stuff, like salad and stuff, but no dressing or anything. So I make my diet completely protein. And honestly, protein diets work amazing. But at the same time, a lot of times when people say we're, doing protein diet, they consume a lot of protein then. So for myself, what I do is, even though I'm doing protein diet, I make sure that the quantity is still low. I don't take a lot of proteins. So what I do is I make sure that my calorie count is still lower than 1500 calories a day. So 1500 is the number of calories that and on average a woman would need to function, for her body to function. That does not include walking around, exercising, or anything else. So I try to keep my calorie intake lower than 1500, and those calories are coming from proteins. I do this for a few days. So after doing this for a few days and making my body used to this change in diet and going completely protein, I get to the next phase of my weight loss. The next phase is intermittent fasting. You might have heard the term intermittent fasting, or you might not have, but I just briefly explain to you what it is. So basically, intermittent fasting means that you make a schedule for yourself. It's a daily schedule. There's a number of hours when you'll be fasting. You'll just take water. And then there's a number of hours where the fasting window, the eating window opens up, where you can eat whatever you want. So because before starting the intermittent fasting, I've started doing the protein diet, during the eating window, I will only eat proteins. So I would carry on the protein diet, but I have incorporated intermittent fasting in that whole weight loss program that I follow myself. So there's different methods of intermittent fasting. The most popular is 16/8. What that means is that 16 hours in a day, you don't eat anything and you just drink water. And then 8 hours, the rest of the 8 hours, you have that window open where you could eat as much as you like, whatever you like. That's the general concept. But during those 8 hours, I do not eat any carbs. I still stick to my proteins. Another way to do this 16/8 intermittent fasting is, this is what I do. So I would start skipping breakfast. And if you have your dinner at 7 p.m. in the evening, if you've had it, the previous night at 7 p.m., and then you skip breakfast and have your lunch at around maybe 1 p.m., it just gives you that 12 hours of fasting anyways. And then, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. is your next dinner, next meal, which is your dinner. So 1 p.m. I have my lunch, 7 p.m. I have my dinner, and then I don't eat anything. And then that's when my fasting starts. So that's very easy to do, to be honest with you. Intermittent fasting is not that difficult. It's just like skipping just one meal, which is not as difficult. Like, it's pretty doable. But then there's another type of intermittent fasting where it's 5/2. So what 5/2 means is 5 days during the week you eat, and then 2 days you fast. That's when it gets really difficult. So although I follow the 16/8, which is the skipping the breakfast, I do try to do the 5/2 here and there. Sometimes I'm able to do it, and sometimes I give up in the middle and eat. I don't eat junk still, but I try my best to still, maybe once in 2 weeks, or I still try to do the 5/2. Although it's recommended that you do it every week because it's intermittent fasting, so it has to be a schedule. So yeah, but the thing is with my 5/2, once you do go through it and if you're able to stick to it. Honestly, the feeling afterwards is amazing, amazing. And I mean, you feel so light. And intermittent fasting, like fasting, is really good for your body anyways. It gets rid of toxins in your body and all that. And it's really, health wise, it's really good. There's a lot of health benefits to fasting. And if you want to do your own research, Google it, look it up on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on it already. So I won't be talking in detail about that here. But if you want to look it up, it's amazing for your body and your mind and your soul. It's really good. Also, being a Muslim, I already do fast during the month of Ramadan. So fasting is not a new concept to me and all the Muslims. And I know in other religions there's fasting as well. So I mean, if you're unable to do the 5/2, which is like the 2 days of fasting during the week, you can still do the 16/8, which is so much easier than 5/2, obviously. And but I mean, the trick is to continue doing the protein diet while you're not fasting. And that's honestly, this strategy, this weight loss routine, it works amazing. I start seeing results right away. It has always worked for me, but recently what I noticed was it brought a huge change in my eating habits. And I've started really being careful. Like, I mean, there's times where I do, go for the sweets and stuff, but I'm really conscious of it now. So when I eat them, I feel like my body has changed so much. My taste buds, or I'm just so conscious of what I'm eating, putting in my body. This is something I experienced recently. I think it has a lot to do with the intermittent fasting as well. It somehow changed my whole approach towards food. So yeah, this works wonders. I still have few pounds to lose, and I'm trying to get back to intermittent fasting, and I'm finding it hard. It has a lot to do with my mind and how I'm feeling and all that, but I'm trying to get back to intermittent fasting. I've stopped doing it for a few weeks now. So this is my whole weight loss strategy. It's in 2 phases. I go on a protein diet first, and then I go for intermittent fasting along with the protein diet. And honestly, it's amazing. And you see results like really fast. You don't have to wait too long for the results. So yeah, I don't know if that's something you want to try out. And again, if you want to try something out like this, ask your doctor as well. I just don't want to suggest something to you which might not be for you. Your doctor, your healthcare provider probably know you better. Another thing that I really try not to do is checking my weight daily. I do not do that. I used to do it, and honestly, it's so demotivating, because when you think that you're losing weight and then you get on that scale and you don't see that weight scale, the weight coming down, it just demotivates you and just makes you feel so bad, and then you have like such a bad crappy day. And if there's some food in front of you that you're not supposed to eat because it's not according to the diet that you're doing, you do want to eat it, because like you're like, I've avoided it so much and I still didn't lose weight, so why avoid it at all? I feel like if you really want to lose weight and keep your motivation up, you have to stay away from the weight scales. A better thing to do is just keep looking at your clothes. You'll know when you lose weight. You'll see your jeans getting loose, your shirts getting loose. So I mean, that should be an indication enough that you're losing weight. Checking your weight on the scale every day is honestly, it's not gonna do you any good. I could go into a lot of detail on this topic. Like, I have a lot to say, and I know there's gonna be a lot of questions coming from you guys regarding the weight loss strategy that I just told you about. So if you have any questions, do leave them in the comments below, and I'll respond to them either in the comments, or I'll make a new video, a more detailed one, and explain to you this whole thing even further. And yeah, if you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you have any video suggestions, don't forget to leave them in the comments as well. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I will also be leaving my social media links in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.